Hey YouTubers, this is Jco2, also known as JessiePoo24 or here on my YouTube channel. I wanted to talk to you guys about Emirates Airlines and Qatar Airways. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I need to do this to relieve myself, okay? First and foremost, let me just tell you about the journey going there, because we flew, as a family, we flew Emirates going from the United States to Johannesburg, South Africa. On the way back, we flew Qatar Airways from South Africa back to the States. Now, I'll explain it. Let me just start with the arrival first. We got our tickets from cheapoair.com. They're not paying me. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I personally am telling you guys because that was the cheapest tickets that I could find online, one way or round trip. It didn't even matter. But as you guys know, traveling to Africa, period, is basically the most expensive place to go. They make it very expensive. To me, I think it's a conspiracy. But I'm not gonna go there. This is not what this video is for. Okay, y'all, excuse me. I feel like I've been running. I'm 7 months pregnant, by the way, so just trying to catch my breath. Okay, back to what I was saying. Okay, so leaving our starting point, we flew Jetblue to JFK Airport in New York. From New York JFK Airport, we got on Emirates Airlines for about 15 hour flight. The delay was not that bad at all. I think it was like maybe a 1.5 hour delay. It said like 2 hour delay on our detailed flight plan. However, as soon as we landed from MSY to JFK, the flight was already kind of late getting there. So by the time we got there, we had to rush to, to the terminal, go through the concourse and get there. By the time we got there, they were actually calling boarding. So we didn't have any wait time from our starting point to JFK. So that was JetBlue. JetBlue was okay. Actually, to say it was a small plane, it was a jet. The seats were very crammed. However, I actually liked it. The takeoff was great. The landing was great. So JetBlue, you guys get a thumbs up from me. The only thing was space. That was it. But other than that, you guys did really, really great. I was actually surprised. And I've never flew JetBlue, so I didn't know what to expect. However, leaving from JFK to Dubai, 15-hour flight, it was a disaster. Okay, first of all, when I went through cheapoair.com, I paid almost $60 for us to have assigned seating because, let's face it, I'm not about to have my underage children sit with some stranger, okay? So we all sat together from the flight, to the flight there. So they put us in the middle of the plane, economy. We flew economy, by the way. If anybody knows of any airline online ticket purchasing websites that is cheaper than Cheapo Air, please let me know. Put it in the comments below so I can know, because I'm telling you, I couldn't find anything else cheaper than cheapoair.com. Even Priceline was kind of high, which was ridiculous. Delta was trying to charge us almost 10 grand each just to go one way. Ain't that some mess? And I have Delta airline miles because I flew Delta before. So I was very touchy about that. Delta, you not on my good side right now. Anyway, back to this 15-hour flight. Number one, the people that fly with you, people who you don't know who have bought the same scheduled airline flight ticket that you did, and you got stuck with these people. First and foremost, I was already agitated because the airline hostess were very rude. They were really rude. When I say rude, they were, you ask them a question, they just give you like this blunt answer, or it got to a point where like I needed assistance with something, so I pressed my button, the light was on. I seen her come out of nowhere. The flight attendant came out of nowhere. She turned off my light and went back. I said, ma'am. She kept going. So I tried to flag down another lady, and they were like, oh, I'm coming back. She never came back. So about the fourth lady, she helped me. I had no issues. Now, granted, she's from South Africa. Go figure, right? So my husband, we were all sitting on the same row. It was a bus airplane. I think it's like 770 bus jet, something like that. It was very huge, and it was so huge that the first class was upstairs. The business and the economy was on the same floor, but it was just separated by, you know, that cute little red Hollywood looking curtain that they have. So anyway, we were sitting during the flight watching movies. This little kid in the back of my husband kept kicking his seat. So he turned around and was like, no, you're not gonna do that to me this whole flight. So the mother then, oh, I'm sorry. But mind you, my husband said this before we had even got on the plane. He said, I hope that I don't get a little kid to sit behind me that's gonna kick my seat. And lo and behold, he gets a kid that is sitting behind him that's kicking his seat. Because he caught it early, he nipped it in the bud early, and he didn't have patience for it. It stopped. However, this little girl, she had to be about 2, that was on the flight for the entire 15 hours, was hollering. Mind you, the flight was overnight. So majority of the people on this plane is asleep. And this little girl is hollering at the top of her lungs. She's crying at the top of her lungs. She's talking at the top of her lungs. Anything that you can do with vocal cords, she was doing at the top of her lungs. And this little girl, she was running through the aisles, just violating people's space. And the parents thought it was cute. Now, I'm not discriminating, but the parents were from India. I mean, it was a lot of Indians and what you call the Middle East. I hate to use that word Middle East because there's no such thing. But anyway, from that area, it was a lot of Arabs, Indians that were on there. And I mean, of course, because you're going to Dubai, you're gonna have these type of, you know, that didn't bother. Okay, my camera just cut off. Anyway, unless you're gonna fly first class or economy, I suggest that you don't do Emirates. I've seen a lot of positive feedback on YouTube. However, I think that can be deceiving, especially people who are flying by themselves, who is not pregnant, and those who are sponsored by these people. Those are the 3 things that I'm a bit leery about, and I really don't care to entertain. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you real. I'm gonna tell it to you. I'm a working, tax-paying class citizen, and I do not want to be spending my money to be getting treated worse than the poop on the ground. And that's how I felt. However, it seems like when I got closer to my destination, that last flight of Emirates, the flight crew changed. And it could be because of the attitudes. You know, attitude reflect leadership. You got a horrible boss. You know, they might have been uptight. I don't know. They might have missed their paycheck. They might have had to pull a double shift. I have no idea. But I'm not the one that you're going to take your stuff out on. Okay? Let's talk about Qatar. Qatar Airways was a totally different experience than Emirates. There, and it was also a Airbus, leaving from Johannesburg, coming back to the United States. I gotta tell you, it was a bit small. It seemed still like it was a bit smaller than Emirates. Emirates planes seemed very, very huge. Qatar seems huge, but I don't know why their Airbuses didn't really seem as big, like maybe slightly smaller. However, the service was awesome. Economy, y'all, Qatar Airways is the way to go. I'm just gonna be real. Qatar Airways treated us, well, I can only speak for me and mine. They treated us as if we were in first class. I want to say one more thing before I continue to go into Qatar. When I booked the flights for us on the website, I put a meal preference for kosher because we don't eat pork. Anybody who doesn't eat pork, please don't pick kosher. Qatar Airways, Emirates, and any other airline that's coming out of the Middle East, they already don't have pork on their menu. I'm telling y'all, kosher is the most horrible airline food you can get. Now, there may be some kosher that's banging, that's you can go to somebody's house and eat. But as far as airlines, please, y'all, please save your soul and your palate, because you're not gonna be happy. Y'all, I could have starved. That's how bad that food was that was kosher. And they give it to you in this big old packet, white and blue, and it's like Hebrew written all over it. And they package it so nicely and saying it's certified by Rabbi such and such. And you open it up and the food looks all delicious. And then all of a sudden you taste it and it's like the end of the world, because now you are disappointed and you feel like you're gonna die because you're hungry. But anyway, that's just my perspective. Because let's face it, I don't want to be 30-something thousand feet in the air, pregnant, hungry, and then I can't enjoy my food. That ain't gonna work for me, okay? But that wasn't Emirates' fault, that was my fault. However, they could add some more kind of spice or some seasoning to that food. Father, I'm telling you, that stuff was horrible. Anyway, so that's just a note for anyone who doesn't eat pork. You don't have to worry about that. They all their foods are halal certified, which means they do not have any pork products at all. So you don't have to worry about getting kosher, you guys. You can just eat the food that they actually provide. And let me just tell y'all, Qatar Airways food was off the chain. Their food was the bomb. .com/subscribe/get it in. Because I'm telling you, I tore that food up like it was school free lunch. They had a lot of alternatives, either chicken or beef, you can choose from, whatever. Then they had like these little snacks in between. It's like, man, I flew before. I ain't never had like these good snacks in between. I'm not talking about peanuts or gummy bears and stuff like that. I'm talking about like chicken pot pie as a snack. You know, oh man, we tore that food up. And I'm telling you, to the point to where my kids went to sleep after they ate. That's how you know when food is good. So on the way from Johannesburg, we were flying probably like 14 hours. Waiting for the flight was a bit longer. We had like 3 hours. However, we spent like 1.5 of the other 1.5 hours walking around with my husband, because he's actually still there. He's going to be coming later on this week. And he will be flying Qatar. So hopefully he has a really good experience. We walked around with him and we had to depart because he had to stay behind to take care of some business. Y'all, my baby cried and cried and cried. She cried for about maybe 2.5, 3 hours about leaving daddy behind. So I was a little heartbroken. So on the way from Johannesburg to Doha, Qatar, that's where we landed. About a 14-hour flight, like I said. Great food, great service. They were polite. They answered your questions. They took your time to look in your face, engage with you. I mean, they were awesome. Now, the turbulence was a bit much. However, it wasn't enough for me to start dropping to my knees and praying to the Most High. Now, was I mumbling up underneath my breath a little prayer too? Sure. However, I felt like I was guaranteed safety back to the United States because I know I have a purpose and a plan. However, yeah, that turbulence really wasn't that great to experience. We kept hitting air pockets. That's something that they cannot control. I understand that. However, that plane pilot, they really flew smoothly. And I really do like that. I really appreciated that. And I mean, it was great. We got to Doha. We stayed in Doha for about maybe an hour and a half, literally. No rushing to the next flight. Everything was on time. It flew by kind of fast because we were playing Uno. Uno is a lifesaver. That's a tip for you guys. Tip number 1. Bring some stuff that's going to occupy your children's time while you guys are at the terminal waiting on your flight. Especially if they're under the ages of 12, you're not gonna, no, it ain't gonna work. So we got to Doha, same service. These people were nice, man. They were. Qatar, their service was exceptional. Yes, I'm saying it was exceptional. So Qatar, y'all get a thumbs up from me.